Hello, everyone. I think I'm live. Welcome. I'm going to give a minute here. I'm going to really clear the energy and get us all set up. And I want to make sure that I am streaming on YouTube. So bear with me. Give me just a moment. I've never done this before. This is totally brand new. For using this for streaming on YouTube. So it looks like I am. So welcome. If you're joining me on YouTube, this is my first ever live video on YouTube, and I can see a couple of people are joining me. Welcome to those of you who are in the Facebook group. Welcome to those of you who are watching the replay. Just so you know, this healing will be just as powerful whether you are joining me right now on October 22nd, 2019, live, or if you are watching the replay in any other time at all. Just like we don't have to be together in the same room, we don't have to be together in the same time. This healing is outside of time and space, as is all of the healing that I do. So let me know that you're here live. I would love to see who is here. I'm going to be looking from my phone. I hopped on a couple minutes early so that I could make sure everything was working technically, because I'm doing something completely brand new. With the streaming, I'm using a brand new to me way of streaming that is allowing me to stream on both Facebook and YouTube. So I'm going to be doing more things on YouTube. I don't talk about my YouTube channel very often, but I do have one, and I have a lot of videos up there. I'm going to actually be using YouTube more often now that I have this capability. So I'm just closing a couple tabs here. I realized I have about 100 tabs open to help my bandwidth here, since I'm streaming in both places. So while I'm doing that, and while I'm waiting for everybody to get the message that I'm on and find me live, I just want to take a moment to welcome you all. Thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up and doing this work for yourself. It takes courage to really work on our trauma, but it is probably the most life-changing thing that we can do if we're holding on to a lot of trauma. And it's one of the most amazing things that we can actually do for this planet. Those of you who are doing this work for yourself, you are changing the planet for all of humanity. So thank you for showing up and for being here. I'm going to be clearing all different kinds of trauma today. Those of you who are here live, I'm going to invite you to share your comments, and I will weave those in to the healing as much as I have time for. I'm going to be using a tool that will really individualize and personalize the healing for everyone. So if you're not here live, or if I don't say your comment out loud, just know that the way that this healing is going to work with something called the Sacred Light Vortex that I'm going to be using today, that this healing will be really individualized for everyone. So I'm just going to wait another minute here and close a couple more tabs. And then I'm going to just talk a little bit about what we're going to be doing, what you can expect. And I'm just going to trust that YouTube stream is happening. I'm going to share my channel in the comments on Facebook so that If anybody wants to follow me over there on YouTube, you can follow me. And if anybody wants to tell me what they see over there on YouTube, please let me know that you can see me, that I'm actually streaming like I think I am. Okay, so it looks like quite a few of you guys are on. And I'm just going to take a moment and really clear the energy here, because we're going to be working on some heavy stuff. But don't worry. The way that this healing works is it is very gentle. So I've got both my sage and my Palo Santo. And we're just about ready to get started. I'm just going to find myself on my phone. If I can manage all the technical aspects of this live stream today. I'm just going to find myself on my... I'm going to turn my volume off. Okay, now I can see all your... comments. So April is having a trouble finding it. If someone could share... Oh, April, looks like you found it. Good. Okay, hi, Terry. I'm seeing lots and lots of familiar faces and some names that are not as familiar, so welcome. I'm going to try to keep an eye on the comments, but mostly I'm going to be looking at my notes because I want to get to this healing, and I'll come back and look at the comments. If you're on YouTube, I'm not able to see your comments, so I will come back and look at those when we're done. If you are on YouTube and you want to join me on Facebook, come on over to my group, Sacred Soul Alignment with Alicia Hartzell, and you can see the live stream there. Right now it's 2:00 Pacific time, Tuesday, October 22nd. So if you're here live and you want to do that, come on over to Facebook. All right, so quite a few people are on. Thank you, Pamela. So for those of you who may not know me, I'm Alicia Hartzell. I'm a multidimensional healer, mentor, and teacher, and the creator of Sacred Soul Alignment modality. All of the work that I'm going to be doing here today is going to be using the tools and inner sacred energies that are part of my modality, Sacred Soul Alignment. All of this work will be clearing on all levels. What this means is this is clearing from your current life experience. This is clearing in the Akashic records across all lifetimes and timelines. And this is clearing through your lineage. What that means is when we're clearing things through our lineage, that means our ancestral lineage, that means that we are clearing the trauma. So we're working on trauma today. We're clearing the trauma that we inherited from our family. We inherit trauma, belief programming, and emotions, and even things like energetic oath vows and contracts. We inherit those things in our DNA the same way that we inherit, if we have curly hair, or if we have brown eyes, or how tall we are. We inherit these things in our DNA. And we're going to be clearing on that level today. And what that means is this is also clearing for your family if it is something that you've inherited in your DNA. So you may have experienced the trauma that your mother experienced when she was 16 years old, the trauma your father experienced when he was 4 years old, the trauma your great-great-great-grandfather experienced. If you've inherited that, you're also clearing that for your family. At least 7 generations backwards in time. So all the trauma that you've accumulated in your family lineage for 7 generations, and then also clearing it forwards in time. And what that means is not only are we helping our families clear this stuff, but we're making sure that our children and our grandchildren or future children, future grandchildren do not have to unwind this trauma the way that we have had to. They do not have to carry this trauma or re-experience these painful experiences. So that's a pretty big deal. We're also clearing this for the collective because we are all connected energetically. We are all one. So because of that, we are helping the entirety of humanity. Just by working on ourselves, we're helping the human race, which is a pretty exciting phenomenon. And truly, the best and most important work that we can do is the work that we do on ourselves. The more we unwind from ourselves as far as trauma and limiting belief programming, the more space we have to hold more light, and the more light we can anchor on this planet. So this is going to be a lot of energy. I've got a pretty intense healing planned for you guys. It's more than what I do normally because this is such an important topic. I've really woven in the intention that every person will receive individually exactly what they need, what their most priority is. And because of that, especially if you are holding a lot of trauma, you're not going to receive everything in one listening to this. So you're going to want to come back and listen to this replay, which will be here in this group and on YouTube. So if you're carrying a lot of trauma, you are going to want to listen to this multiple times because there's a lot. There's a lot that has come through for this healing. So because there's going to be a lot of energy run, you might feel tired afterwards. Everyone really experiences energy differently. Some people get very energized, but the majority of the time, people feel tired. Those of you who are used to energy work, you know that feeling when something is integrating and processing. It can last an hour or it can last a couple of days. It's possible that you might have emotions coming up in the next few days as they are releasing, especially if you hold a lot of trauma. So just be really aware of that. So if you feel sad or angry over the next couple of days, just remember that these emotions are rising up out of you so that they can be released out of you, so that you don't have to be carrying those anymore, so that these emotions aren't causing disease and pain in your body, so that these emotions aren't causing chaos and drama and a recreation of these traumas in your life. So just be aware that that may happen for you. And if you do find yourself having emotions come up over the next few days, what I really encourage you to do is get a journal and write about them, because we can have so much good awareness just by journaling that we don't have just by thinking. If you're having a lot of anger come up, what I recommend is grab a piece of paper, put yourself in a place where you're not going to be disturbed for 20 minutes and just write out everything that comes out of your hand without even going into your mind too much. Just write it out, everything that comes out about anger, and then burn that paper. It's a simple process, but it's very powerful. So if these things happen to you, if you have emotions coming up over the next couple of days, I really recommend doing that. You can also come back and listen to this again as many times as you want. Some things that may help you really integrate this healing are drinking a lot of water. Please make sure that you're drinking water. You can go grab some right now. Make sure you're drinking a lot of extra water after this call. And good quality water. If you can get yourself some good alkaline water and drink that over the next couple of days, that's going to be really supportive for you. I just bought a case of alkaline water at Costco for $10. So it's out there, and it doesn't have to be expensive. Epsom salt baths are a really great way to absorb magnesium, and magnesium is very supportive as we are integrating energy work. So if you can take an Epsom salt bath, I like to actually take what I call a detox bath, and that's a cup or two of Epsom salts and a cup or so of baking soda. And then I put essential oils in. Lavender is a good one for really calming the senses, and then just soaking in that hot water for 20 minutes. You don't want to soak for more than 20 minutes if you're doing a detox bath, because your skin will actually begin to reabsorb the toxins. I also like to take magnesium orally, and my favorite way to do that is through the powdered drink Calm. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it pretty much any health food store. A lot of grocery stores carry it. It's a good way to absorb magnesium, because magnesium can be difficult to absorb in the body. Magnesium lotion and oil is also a good way, and that's why Epsom salt baths work so well, because you're absorbing it through your skin. So as I'm talking, before we really get into the healing, and here in a couple minutes, I want to just invite you to grab some water, maybe grab a journal or a notebook if you would like, if you like to write things down, and just get comfortable. Try to find a place where you're not going to be disturbed for the next hour or so, if possible. And do not be driving while you're listening to this. That's really important, because this is a lot of energy. I'm going to be walking you into a meditation. And if you're driving, even if you think that you can handle energy while you're driving, you never know, especially when you're working with trauma. Your mind might just decide to slide out of the way and black out, so that healing can go deeper into your unconscious mind. It's really common to fall asleep or doze off during these types of healings. If that happens, just know that you're still receiving the healing. And what that is most of the time is your conscious mind sliding out of the way for this healing to go deeper into your unconscious mind. So I get that question a lot. What if I fall asleep? You are still receiving it, but it's also an indication that the healing is going really deep for you, and you would very likely benefit from listening again. Okay. Good. So I'm seeing lots of comments. Over 100 people are on here on Facebook right now. Don't worry if you're distracted. You're still receiving it. Okay. Yes, it will work for your child. Yes. And if you have children that are under the age of 18, you can set the intention for this healing to go to your children as well. Oh, Lisa, much love to you. I'm so glad that you're here. Okay, so I'm not going to take time looking at the comments right now. I'm going to look at the comments when I start doing the healing. So I just want to share that all of these energies that I'm going to be working with one exception, which is the Sacred Light Vortex, are from my modality, Sacred Soul Alignment. If you're interested in having these tools for yourself, for your family, if you're a healer and you want these really powerful, effective, and fast tools to use with your clients, I teach a certification class twice a year. If you're watching this live right now on October 22nd, 2019, the next class starts 1 week from today. You can still save $500 and receive multiple bonuses. I'm not going to be talking about this class beyond that today. Just wanted to share what it is that I'm using here, and how you can actually have these tools for yourself. So If you're in my Facebook group, you can see links all over the place for this class, and I'll share above this video when it's complete. And I'll also share a link in YouTube later on. So if you do have any questions about that, you can message me privately. I won't be answering comments on this call about that, but you can message me privately. So what we're going to be doing here is I'm going to be guiding you into a meditation that I call the Heart of Creation. We're going to be grounding, connecting in with Source, and creating a sacred container for you to receive this work in. What this does, this connection, this way actually takes us into the quantum field where everything exists. This is where all of creation exists, and therefore we can create miraculous healings. You're giving me permission to connect to your higher self if you're listening to this, just for the purpose of sending you the healing. And that's about it. So just get comfortable. I'm going to invite you to close your eyes. And just begin to take some deep breaths. Breathing down into your heart. Dropping down into your heart. It may help you to put your hand on your heart and become aware of your heartbeat. And just beginning to breathe as if you are breathing in and out of your heart. I'm going to invite you to take long, slow, deep breaths, breathing in to the count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and breathing out to the count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Continue that breathing pattern as you begin to notice all of the light that surrounds you. See, feel, or imagine this beautiful light that surrounds you. This is pure source energy. This energy is always here present with you. And in fact, it's part of who you are. Begin to breathe this light into your body. Breathing in again through your heart to that count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And breathing out for the count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. And just noticing as this light begins to light up all the cells of your body with each breath, allowing this light to gather in your heart, creating a beautiful ball of light in your heart. And from this beautiful ball of light in your heart, sending down a grounding cord or a pillar of light going down through your body and going down into the earth, deep, deep down through all the layers of the earth, all the way into the crystalline core, the heart chakra of Gaia. Good. And just anchor yourself in here into the heart of Gaia. Feeling into that beautiful golden light that surrounds you. This is unconditional love and support. Begin to draw this golden light up from the heart of Gaia, coming all the way up through the earth, coming up into your Earth Star chakra, which is about 12 inches below your feet, allowing this light to fill your Earth Star chakra. And now pulling this light up into your body, up into your feet, up your legs, into your root chakra, allowing this light to fill your root chakra. And as this light travels up through all of your chakras, just setting the intention that this light will cleanse, purify, and prepare each chakra as it travels up into your sacral chakra, your navel, your solar plexus, your heart, expanding your heart. From your expanded heart space, sending a beam of light straight up and pulling that beautiful golden light up with you as you travel through your high heart, your throat, your third eye, your crown, up into your soul star chakra, about 12 inches above your head, and traveling up, 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 connecting in with your higher self. Just setting the intention to connect with your higher self. You may see or feel the presence of your higher self. Connecting the beam of light from your heart into the heart of your higher self. Continue traveling up and out through this beam of light, past the universe, past the multiverse, traveling as far as you can go until you reach the beautiful iridescent light of the heart of creation. This is the energy of all that is. Anchor your beam of light here, feeling that heart-to-heart connection between your heart and the heart of Creator, the heart of Source. Begin pulling down that beautiful iridescent light that surrounds you, traveling all the way down into your soul star chakra, into your crown, your third eye, your throat, your high heart, and into your heart. Allowing this beautiful iridescent light to flow into your heart. Seeing, feeling, imagining this iridescent light expanding your heart and merging with the golden light from Gaia and the pink light of love from your own heart, creating a beautiful iridescent rose gold light. Allow this rose gold light to expand, filling every cell of your body, expanding out beyond your physical body, 12 feet in all directions, forming a beautiful ball of iridescent rose gold light that you are in the center of. Witnessing a space in the earth opening up for this ball of light with you inside to drop down, dropping all the way back down into the heart of Gaia, allowing yourself to be held here in safety and security, feeling that heart-to-heart connection between your heart and the heart of Gaia, and your heart and the heart of Source, the heart of Creator. Feeling into that heart connection that is created when we all join together, which creates a beautiful sacred container to receive this healing in. Good. And the first thing I felt was are some people here who do not feel safe on this planet. So I want to clear that first before we do anything else. So anywhere that we don't feel safe on this planet, that the earth is not our home, anywhere that the planet Earth, that Gaia is not a safe place, clearing all trauma associated to this planet, to living on this planet, clearing and dissolving all of that now in divine love and light. Thank you. Downloading what it feels like to be safe in your body and to be safe on this planet. Good. If you don't feel safe or don't want to be in the heart of Gaia, just bring yourself back up and into your own heart. So just really staying in your heart during this healing. Our hearts hold everything. So it's really the key. So stay in your heart. Keep that long, slow, deep breath going as much as possible. Good. Okay. Beautiful. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to activate something I spoke about earlier called the Sacred Light Vortex. So activating that now on Divine Love and Light. So you may feel energy coming up from beneath your feet, beginning to swirl around you. This vortex moves both clockwise and counterclockwise. As we're clearing, you're going to probably feel it moving more counterclockwise if you're sensitive to energy. This is the only thing I'm going to be using. Well, one more thing also, but that's not part of Sacred Soul Alignment. This vortex is part of a advanced class that I teach with my best friend, Kimberly Carlson. So I'm also going to bring in here something called the Cleanse and Protect. You may be familiar with this. This is a energy that clears our field, that clears lower vibrating energies that are around us. It can clear entities, attachments, implants. So just to get everybody's energy as clear as possible before we begin, bringing in the Cleanse and Protect now in Divine Love and Light. Thank you. Good. I'm also going to call in the Cosmic Diamond Violet Flame. And I'm going to call in an energy that I use called the Golden White Flame. I'm not doing the Golden White Flame activation. I'm just calling in the Golden White Flame energy. So those of you who are familiar with that activation. Okay, good. So we've already got some energy going here. You may be feeling it already. We're going to be clearing all forms of trauma today. So I'm going to start with clearing oath, vows, and contracts to carry trauma. Oath, vows, and contracts to carry ancestral trauma, to carry the trauma of this planet, the trauma of humanity, to carry galactic trauma, to carry our own trauma for any reason. We're going to also clear all curses and hexes related to trauma. All right, so that's a big one. So all of this now in Divine Love and Light. Creator, change it. So you're going to hear me as I go through saying the words in Divine Love and Light, Creator, change it. Just so you know, this is something that I call a macro, and this is a short phrase that carries the energy of very, very long scripts. These are scripts that I created with my best friend, again, Kimberly Carlson. These are tools that are given to you in Sacred Soul Alignment certification. She also uses these scripts in her modality, energetic allergy healing. So even though I'm saying just a short phrase, there's a lot going on here. The Cleanse and Protect is pages long, so we don't have time for that today. And if you're like me, I want to do things quickly and just get the work done and get to creating what I want to create in my life. So I'm going to bring in here a Sacred Soul Alignment called Releasing Oath, Vows, Contracts, and Obligations. So just in case you're unfamiliar, because I know there's a lot of new people here, Sacred Soul Alignments are pretty much what the modality, I'm choking on this sage smoke, what the modality Sacred Soul Alignment is known for. I have over 300 of them. And they each carry a specific energy frequency that aligns your vibration to that frequency. So a lot of them, the ones especially that we're going to be using today, are clearing those things that are of a lower frequency than that alignment. So this particular one is focusing on releasing oath, vows, contracts, and obligations that are blocking the co-creation of whatever it is that we want to experience in this lifetime, that are really adding power to clearing those oath, vows, contracts, and obligations to hold on to or recreate trauma, chaos, pain, or drama in our lives. Good. Okay. So that is running, and I'm going to bring in another alignment called Getting Off the Karmic Wheel. So calling this in now, Divine Love and Light. Thank you. So karma can feel like an insurmountable obstacle that blocks us from freeing our souls and living with inner harmony and joy. When we reflect on our life, or if we think about past lives, we can feel weighted down by the enormity of what is known as karmic debt. This alignment will allow you to immerse yourself and channel the pure intention to get off that karmic wheel. All we have to do is step out of it. So setting the intention now that you're stepping off of that karmic wheel of debt, suffering, struggle, chaos, and trauma. Closing those karmic loops. Good. And then one more alignment I'm going to bring in before we start addressing specific types of trauma, which is clearing ancestral karma, oath, vows, contracts, and agreements. So this is really working on our ancestral line, resolving on those oath, vows, contracts, and agreements that we're holding for our ancestral lineage that are no longer serving us, marking these lessons downloaded, finished, and complete. Okay, so calling that in now on Divine Love and Light. Thank you. Good, Lisa. Yes, you can come back and watch the replay. Okay, so the first type of trauma that we're going to address here is physical trauma. Okay, so I'm going to say a whole bunch of types of physical trauma. If you have something specific that you've experienced that you want really kind of brought to light, please, if you're here live on October 22nd, 2019 at 2 o'clock, it's 2:30 now Pacific time, you can type in something that you want brought to light. But just know that anytime you're listening to this, the Sacred Light Vortex is activated, which means it's working for you individually to clear that trauma from your cells, from your nervous system. We hold so much trauma in our nervous system. I'm going to be doing an alignment that's going to help clear that. From your chakras, from your organs, from your physical body, from your etheric body, your emotional body, your mental body, and your astral and causal bodies. So this vortex is working at a very deep level. Okay, getting run over by a car, trauma around near-death experiences. Good. Physical trauma. So we're going to dissolve physical trauma from all of these places that I just mentioned and more. So from our cells, our cellular memory, our nervous system, the organs of our body, our bones, our bone marrow, our chakras, all of the cells of our body, the interstitial space of our body, our etheric body, our emotional body, our mental body, our astral and causal bodies. Okay, so we're dissolving it from all of these places. Physical trauma from physical abuse, all forms of physical abuse. Injury through accidents, injury through fire, injury through car accidents, injuries or physical trauma of surgery, of drowning. So remember, we are working on past lives and ancestral trauma. So even though we obviously, if you're here, you haven't died from drowning, but you may have had that experience in another lifetime, or you may be holding that trauma in your lineage. So what's also coming to mind is beheading and hanging, dying in fire, being burned to death. physical trauma from disease, starvation. When I was tuning into this group, I also heard to include binding. And the image that I got in my mind was the feet, when they used to bind feet for women in, I believe it was Japan. And I think that still happens sometimes. So there's going to be somebody here who's carrying that trauma. So the physical trauma from binding, blunt force trauma, penetrating trauma, trauma from something penetrating your body, cuts, gouges, sword, stabbing with a sword or a dagger, gunshot wounds, broken bones, sprains and fractures, infections, physical trauma from falling, stab wounds, dental trauma, nerve injury and trauma, muscle injury and trauma, head injury and trauma, tumors, cancer, diabetes, heart disease, immune disorders, autoimmune disorders, physical trauma from neglect, physical trauma from hospitalization, from traumatic brain injury, and from chronic pain. So let's see if anybody's got from the plague, from unhealthy reactivity and relations, energetic binding from people using dark energy. Oh, good one. I didn't get this one, Michelle. Childbirth. Of course, physical trauma from childbirth, broken leg, Holocaust. Good, Amy. Holocaust trauma, trauma from war, physical trauma from war, physical trauma from abortion. Good. You guys have some good ones. Physical violence from family, emotional violence. So we'll be clearing emotional trauma as well. Severe head and brain trauma. I had 2 brain surgeries. So, and I was pregnant with my oldest daughter. So let's also clear physical trauma from our mother's experience when we were in the womb. Physical abuse, back issues, memory loss, stroke, spinal infection, entire rib cage moved, infertility, physical trauma from infertility or that resulted in infertility, physical trauma from victimhood, from rejection, physical trauma from strangling, from our organs being punctured or wounded, physical trauma from beatings, physical trauma from C-section and preeclampsia, accidents, surgeries, eczema, physical abuse. Good. Okay, well, we're going to be getting to mental health. Oh, good. SIDS death, trauma, residential school trauma, Catholic school trauma, sexual trauma, rapes. Yes, we'll be getting to that. So let's clear that physical trauma from rape, from molestation, just from any unwanted sexual advances. And we'll be getting to the emotional trauma and sexual trauma too. Witch hanging, yes, neck trauma, abuse. God, you guys are coming up with some good ones here. Asthma, okay. Eaten from an animal beast. Past life trauma. This is working on that level. Abandonment. Yeah, so we're going to be getting into some of these are more emotional and mental traumas, which we'll be getting into. Witch hangings, past lives. Yes. Okay, so you can keep your comments coming if you'd like. Rapes from family being sold to others. Buried alive. Good one, Sherry. So clearing and resolving all of this. So just dropping down into your body for a moment, into your heart, clearing and resolving all of this trauma from everything that we've just said out loud and everything that we haven't said out loud. Clearing this physical trauma from our bodies, all the cells of our bodies, our chakras, our nervous system, and all of our subtle bodies, etheric, emotional, mental, astral, and causal, and divine love, and creator, change it. Clearing all oath, vows, agreements, and contracts to carry this trauma for any reason. Bringing in an energetic disconnect between you individually and anyone who was associated with this trauma. So just have that person or people in mind if that applies to you. In divine love and light, creator, change it. Good. So I just also want to mention you're gonna see me yawning a lot, and you may be yawning and sighing. You'll hear me taking those deep breaths. That's our body's natural way of releasing, but it's also I have an attunement in sacred soul alignment called the breath of peace, where I attune your breath to amplifying that healing so that we can really actually transfer healing through our breath. And it's also a really good measurement for if something is clear or not. So just so you know, I'm not tired. I'm just clearing. Okay, good, Jade. Physical trauma from poisoning, from freezing. Okay, brain tumor. Blocked Sturgill and blocked roads, fire. Belief you're not enough. Drug addiction, physical trauma from drug addiction. Good. Let's clear physical trauma from all substances. Oh, we could go on and on here. Physical trauma from chemicals, from chemical warfare, from the chemicals in our food. Physical trauma from allergic reactions and anaphylaxis, anaphylactic shock. Good. So clearing and resolving all of that now in divine love and light, creator, change it. Okay, so I have some alignments to bring in here. So we're going to bring in the trauma disconnect alignment. So calling that in now in divine love and light. Thank you. So just really covering all the bases here. This alignment helps to clear that trauma. So it's bringing this healing to just another deeper layer. The trauma in our cells, our cellular memory, our chakras, our DNA, our nervous system, all of our subtle bodies. And it's also bringing in Creator's infinite healing and unconditional love to replace that trauma that's being cleared. I'm going to also bring in the alignment tension. So calling that in now, divine love and light. Thank you. This alignment clears the tension that we're holding in our body. That oftentimes is a result of that trauma. And this includes beliefs, emotions, and trauma, and experiences that are behind that tension. Bringing in the ability to relax, to let your guard down, to feel safe, and the energy of true peace. So just breathing that in, allowing yourself to receive. How's everybody feeling? Abduction, vaccines. Very good, Lindsay. Thank you. I have a couple of other things that are going to be working on vaccine trauma too. So I'm actually going to just bring that in right now. So bringing in the alignment heavy metal detox. So calling that in now in divine love and light. Thank you. And remember, if you have children under the age of 18, you can intend for that healing to go to your children too. False diagnosis, persecution, manipulation, gaslighting. Good. We're getting into some suicide. Good, Jade. So some of this is going to be covered in the emotional and mental trauma from neglect. Good. So if you're feeling hot or cold, know that this is just energy moving. If you're feeling thirsty, that's very normal. Grab some water because that will help you process. Good, Michelle. I love it. Okay. Okay, Biff. I forget what your actual name is, but is it Lenora? If you're feeling a lot of emotion, that is perfectly normal. Just know that you're in a very safe space. You're going to be processing this. You're being held. There are legions of light beings here with us right now that are helping hold each and every one of you. So just allow yourself to be held and supported as you move through this. Hit by thunder, arthritis, suicide. Good. Parasites. We could go on and on. this is kind of endless, right? The amount of traumas that are potential for humans. So I'm going to also bring in adrenal fatigue and failure, because this adrenal fatigue and failure is often a result of trauma. So calling that energy in now in divine love and light. So adrenal fatigue and failure can can arise when we experience high levels of stress or trauma over long periods of time. It forces our adrenal glands to go into overdrive, leading to an overproduction or an underproduction of adrenal hormones. This can lead to extreme exhaustion and other problems such as sleep disturbances and anxiety. This alignment will get to the heart of the matter and release the chronic or acute stress or trauma that is at the root of this adrenal issue. It also balances your adrenal glands, adrenaline, cortisol, gonadotrophins, gonadal steroid hormones, vasopressin, norepinephrine, serotonin, and I always mess this word up, I'm not even going to try to say it, acetylcholine. This alignment works to reduce the effects of stress and trauma, including exhaustion. So just allowing yourself to receive. Good. So much love to all of you guys that are feeling those emotions. And I see you, and I see your comments. So all of this that you're typing in here is being cleared. Good. I'm going to bring in now the nervous system alignment. This is a really big energy. So calling the energy in now of the sacred soul alignment nervous system. Good. So our nervous system is the central communication system of our body. It carries messages between our brain and our spinal cord to various parts of our body. A healthy nervous system allows the smooth coordination and control of all body parts for internal harmony. So if your nervous system is holding trauma, and that's one of the main places where we hold trauma, you're not going to feel harmonious in your body. You're not going to feel harmonious in your life. So this alignment creates a connection between your body and your brain as it balances perception, emotion, thought processes, and your responses to your environment. It's also bringing healing to your brain and your nerves, your spinal cord, and your nerve endings. It allows full control and smooth coordination of all bodily functions and reflex patterns that were both inherited and learned. It releases negative thought forms, patterns of addiction, and brings in the ability to communicate effectively and with love while activating truth and discernment from the perspective of your divine aspect. All right, so it's a big energy. You may be feeling a lot of energy. If you're feeling emotions come up, we're going to be moving into emotional trauma next. If you feel emotions coming up, tapping your finger on your collarbone point. You can do both of them or one of them. That helps release that trauma from your nervous system. So the alignment I ran before adrenal fatigue was tension. Your heart hurts, Lisa. So just allowing this to come up. We're not even halfway through yet. So I thought this would be an hour long. It might be up to 2 hours long. Substance abuse, absolutely. Depression and anxiety. We're going to be moving into emotional trauma next. And obviously, you know, there's just as many people as there are on this planet. That's how many forms of trauma that there can be and more. So we obviously aren't going to be able to hone in on exactly every single one. So just having that in your awareness for yourself as we move through, because that vortex is working. It's okay, Eva. You can't breathe deep enough because the root hasn't been cleared yet. So just allow yourself to just drop down into your heart. You're perfectly safe. You're being held and supported. And this healing we're not even halfway through yet. So there's a lot more to come. Okay. Good. So emotional trauma can be created in a multitude of ways, and everyone's emotional response to any situation is going to be uniquely their own. So emotional trauma can come for one person with a harsh tone, where another person, wouldn't feel that for that. So there's a variety of sensitivities to our world and to our experiences in it. There's no right or wrong reaction to anything. So we're going to clear some emotional traumas here. So you can feel free to type in if you have something to add. Blocking my sense of smell. So just bringing that intention forward. So we're going to clear emotional traumas that have occurred in our lives through death, through loss, through divorce, heartbreak, heartache, anger, abuse of all forms, physical abuse, mental abuse, emotional abuse, psychological abuse, spiritual abuse, and sexual abuse. And I'm also seeing abuse that's not even on this physical plane. So that kind of falls under spiritual abuse, but abuse that we have incurred on the astral realm or the spiritual realm, the etheric realm. Whew, okay, good. There's a lot of energy working here. We're going to clear emotional trauma that is a result of chronic stress, of physical illness, of mental illness, of bullying, job loss, financial stress, financial trauma, chronic poverty. Okay, so I'm going to bring in an alignment called poverty, struggle, and suffering disconnect. So bringing that in now and clearing everything that I have just said here, all of these forms of trauma, clearing these from all of the places that I've been mentioning in divine love and light. Creator, change it. Good. Okay, I'm going to look at some of your comments here. Depression, anxiety, fatigue, migraines. Abuse of power, trauma of abuse of our free will. Addiction trauma. Yay, you made it. Heartbreak, yeah. Generations of negative mother-daughter relationships. So trauma in our parental relationships, trauma with our child relationships, trauma with our friend relationships, with our community relationships, with our most intimate partnership relationships, all relationships, with our trauma with our with relationships in the spiritual realm. Unrequited love, abandonment, witnessing a parent or a loved one self-harming, addictions, family drama, rejection, loneliness, isolation, betrayal, survivor's remorse, narcissistic abuse, loss of my husband, emotions that lead to eating the wrong foods. Basically, that is most of the time that is a substitute for love. So the trauma of feeling unloved, the trauma of feeling rejected or unaccepted, the trauma of feeling unworthy, the trauma of feeling like you don't belong here. Abandonment, mother-daughter issues, narcissistic abuse. Yeah, you're trying to protect yourself, Lisa. I'm going to bring in an attunement in a minute that's going to help with that. Witnessing a parent's suicide or a loved one's suicide, a child's suicide, neglect, grief, inner child, we're going to be doing an alignment for that. Believing the lies others told me. That's a good one, Michelle. That's going to come in under psychological abuse. Self-injury, shame, Good. Guilt and shame are the lowest vibrating emotions. I have a bunch of alignments I'm going to be running here in a minute. Neglect, loss, abandonment, rejection, stuck in a rut, heartbreak, hoarding, stress, anxiety, bullying, job loss, lack mentality, depression, low self-esteem, low self-worth, losing loved ones. Trauma of being used, abused, taken advantage of. Childhood trauma, death of a father, animal abuse, and trauma from witnessing injustice and abuse and suffering on this planet. Self-doubt, suffering, organized religion, guilt, unworthiness, not being accepted for who you are, self-sabotage, self-abuse, self-loathing, guilt, fear, abandonment, heartbreak, rejection, loss, addiction, unworthy, unloved. Trauma from being manipulated, controlled, suppressed, repressed. I've got some of those coming up. Sabotage. Good. Whew. Okay, so everybody just take a moment, drop down into your heart, breathe. Breathe into your heart, allowing your body to relax a little bit. Allowing yourself to release what's coming up for you. Bringing your awareness to this vortex that is going around you, that is helping support you in clearing and resolving and dissolving these things that are coming up here. Remembering to stay in your heart, remembering to breathe. So trauma can cause that reaction where we almost want to stop breathing or where we want to leave our bodies. So just allowing yourself the gift of being present with yourself for the next half hour or so. Being present. You're so courageous by being here. Just really acknowledging how incredible that is, that you're here and you're willing to do this work and you're willing to feel these feelings just for a brief time so that you can be free of them. We're going to clear the trauma from fear, worry, anxiety, panic, depression, suppression, manipulation, control, belittling, neglect, self-doubt. Good. You guys are doing so good. So clearing and resolving all of this now. Divine love, light, creator, change. Okay, so I'm going to bring in a bunch of alignments here that's going to really help with some of what you guys are talking about here. The heart pounding, the feelings in your hearts, not being able to take a deep breath. So bringing in the sacred soul alignment, free at last. So calling this energy in now, divine love and light. So we can be held in an invisible prison that's made up of many things: the past, our own beliefs and emotions, outdated oath vows and contracts, hooks and cords to people or places that are not serving us. Being in this energetic prison causes us to stay stuck and trapped. So this alignment will free you from what is holding you prisoner. It will bring in source, creator, your divine aspects, understanding of true freedom on every level, helping you to step into the energy of freedom so you can move forward and create the life and the reality that you desire, that you want to experience. Bring in the grief and sorrow release alignment. So just allowing yourself to release that grief and sorrow. I'm also going to bring in an attunement that comes in through Archangel Azrael and Archangel Zara. It's called the Golden White Cocoon. So calling this in now, divine love and light. Thank you. So Archangel Azrael and Archangel Zara come in and they wrap you in this beautiful energy of this golden white cocoon, wrapping your heart in this energy and just really supporting you in processing grief and the anger that sometimes is on top of that grief, trying to protect us from it. So also bringing in the guilt and shame release alignment, Guilt and shame are the lowest vibrating emotions. They can take up a lot of space. So calling that in now, divine love and light. Thank you. Bringing in the hopelessness, release, alignment. Divine love and light, thank you. Clearing that feeling of hopelessness, of living with that hopelessness. Bringing in the energy of pure hope, renewal, and joy. Bringing in the anger and resentment, release, alignment. Divine love and light, thank you. Good. Good. You guys are so supported right now. Okay, I'm going to bring in 2 alignments here that work really well together. One of them is called pain as sacred healing. So painful experiences that purify our soul are part of our journey into spiritual evolution. At least they are in this paradigm. However, it's important to know the difference between pain that purifies and pain that is causing us harm or doesn't belong to us. So this alignment is bringing in the energy of purifying your pain and integrating it as sacred healing. It's also helping to release the pain, the trauma, the low frequency emotions that don't belong to you, giving you the discernment to decipher the difference between pain as sacred healing and pain that does not belong to you, and pain that is an echo of the past, so that you can let go of the pain that does not serve your spiritual evolution. Good. So just allowing yourself to release any pain, anything that you're feeling right now that does not belong to you, that you're holding for someone else. Just check with yourself and ask yourself, is what I'm feeling mine or someone else's? And if you're getting that it's someone else's, let it go. Let it go to the light. It's not going back to them, and you're not helping them by holding on to it. So now I'm going to bring in an alignment called pain body. Eckhart Tolle talks about the pain body as an accumulation of old emotional pain that almost all people carry in their energy field, that can actually become an entity. It consists of low vibrating emotions that were not faced, accepted, and let go in the moment. So this alignment is releasing parts and layers of this pain body. Good. Okay, so how's everybody feeling? I'm going to look at your comments here. Not being able to forgive yourself, that does go with guilt and regret. I'm going to be bringing in an alignment called forgiveness in just a bit. Panic attacks. Good. Fear. Good. So just know I see you. I'm seeing your comments. Good. Okay. We're going to move on to mental trauma. Psychological, we're going to kind of combine mental and psychological trauma. So psychological trauma is trauma that can damage the mind. So it really goes together with mental trauma as a result of a distressing event. So psychological trauma also goes along with, being fed lies, being told, something that's not true, especially when you're a child. Childhood abuse, neglect, overly controlling parents or caregivers, religious control, religious abuse, religious oppression. So we're going to clear these types of traumas, bringing in the sacred soul alignment, religious oppression. So go ahead and type in if you have mental or psychological trauma that you want to bring to light. So we're calling in religious oppression alignment now. So rigid, severe, or punishing religious principles can block us from awakening to the truth of who we truly are. Overly strict religious beliefs, rules, and regulations can cause massive shock and trauma, causing us to dim our light, live in fear, and hold us back from rising up to embrace our infinite selves and to live our soul purpose. This alignment will clear out the shock and trauma from religious oppression throughout lifetimes and timelines within our DNA and within the collective, including shock and trauma held in our cells, our cellular memory, oath vows and contracts to carry this trauma, and oath vows and contracts knowingly and unknowingly made with religious groups and organizations that are not in our highest good. Good. So trauma from brain injury, soul loss. Beautiful, Tanya. Not being able to trust, narcissistic abuse, brainwashing, gaslighting. Definitely that falls under psychological trauma. Autism, lies told about me. Good. So I'm going to bring in brain balancing for brain chemistry. So calling this energy in now, divine love and light. Thank you. Brain chemistry is essentially the communication that happens between our brain cells and our neurotransmitters. So this trauma definitely affects our brain chemistry. So this alignment balances all of our brain chemistry, including the neurotransmitters such as dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins. So calling, just really, it also balances your left and right hemispheres of your brain. You might feel a lot of movement in your brain. I'm going to also bring in the serotonin balance alignment here. Good. So addiction can be a type of, psychological issue, and it definitely is a result of trauma and many times. So I'm going to bring in the addiction release alignment. So calling this in now in divine love and light. Good. So we can have many, many different forms of addiction: alcohol, drugs, sex, food, shopping, TV, even exercise or a spiritual routine can become addictive. The key is to remember that addictions are never what they seem. They are our attempt to fill the void we perceive in our lives or to hide from the truth. So this alignment will help release the desire or craving to use a substance or an activity as an emotional support system, allowing you to let go of the need to turn to a substitute for love and acceptance and nurturing. Also gently releasing the genetic predisposition to addiction in our DNA as a way to replace love or hide from reality. Good. Nightmares, overthinking, narcissistic abuse, being teased and tormented, slander, killed or persecution, told what I believe is devil worship, lack of clarity, fear of the future, lack mentality, hopelessness, all of that. Family mental health issues, being teased and tormented by siblings. Good. So I'm also going to bring in an alignment called clear vision. So calling this in now in divine love and light. So the eyes are said to be the window to the soul. And this is for a good reason. We actually carry the energy of our eyes throughout all of our lifetimes, even if they're a different color in different lifetimes. And we hold countless beliefs in our eyes, in the energy of our eyes. This affects how we view ourselves and the world. And we hold belief systems and programming in our eyes. So this alignment will clear the trauma of seeing things that you didn't want to see, both with your physical and your psychic eyes, resolving the patterns of allowing others to treat you inadequately, feelings of inadequacy, being unable to accomplish goals and dreams, bringing in the feeling and ability to fearlessly look into the future, unafraid and with hope. Good. So just allowing yourself to receive that alignment now. I have really bad vision. And so I believe that I experienced a lot of trauma through my psychic sight in past lives. And that showed up for me as very poor vision in this lifetime. We're going to bring in the alignment fear. So calling this energy in now. And divine love and light. Thank you. Fear is a basic human emotion, and it can serve us. But fear that does not serve to protect us can be very harmful to our emotional, mental, and even physical well-being. The energy of fear from other lifetimes and timelines can also bleed into this current experience. This alignment is releasing the fear that you're holding in your body, the emotions, beliefs, traumas that are associated with that. Good. Good. I'm seeing your comments. Okay. And then one final one, and then we're going to move on to the last form of trauma that we're working with today, which is sexual trauma. So I'm going to bring in the energy of the alignment confusion and overwhelm. So when we're full to the brim of trauma that we're holding on to, any little thing can just make us feel completely confused and overwhelmed. We live in a fast-paced, frantic world where we are endlessly bombarded with constant noise. It can feel like everything and everyone wants our time and attention. And it feels sometimes like our senses are being assaulted. This can be especially true for those people who are sensitive, empaths, psychics, healers, and other conscious souls that are just sensitive to the energetic shifts that are constantly happening on this planet. This alignment will lift, clear, and dissolve that energetic noise that has attached to us, clearing the confusion and overwhelm that we feel, aligning us to beautiful, calming vibration of stillness, quiet, peace, confidence, and clarity. Good. Okay, so we're going to move on to the last section here, which is sexual trauma. I have a whole call that I actually give for free that is just for sexual trauma. If you search in this group, in the Facebook group, Sexual Trauma, you can find the link to get that for free. But we're going to be clearing up a lot of that here too. So we're going to clear, so you can type in your comments if you want to bring them to light. We're going to clear sexual traumas around molestation, rape, incest, experiencing inappropriate touching or suggestive behavior, especially when we were young. Anywhere that this destroyed our trust, including our trust in ourselves. Anywhere that this inhibited our discernment or stole our voice. Good. Okay. So clearing and resolving all of these forms of sexual trauma now. So there's many forms of sexual trauma. I'm using a broad blanket statements here to cover a large variety of that. I'm going to bring in the alignment truth and trust. So calling this in now in divine love and light. Thank you. Truth and trust are extraordinarily important foundations for our health, happiness, and well-being. When we lack the ability to understand or connect with our truth, when we are unable to trust ourselves and others, life can become very difficult and exhausting. This alignment is bringing in the ability to discern truth, including your own truth, to know who to trust and how to trust yourself. This is also clearing beliefs, emotions, and experiences that cause you to turn away from hearing and understanding your truth and trusting your abilities. Good. Pedophilia, rape, serial killers. The left side is the feminine side. So if you're feeling something on your left side, you're clearing something to do with the feminine or with women. If you're feeling it on your right side, that's the masculine side, and you're clearing something to do with the masculine or with men. Bringing in the alignment discernment. So calling this energy in now and divine love and light. Thank you. Good. This is bringing in the ability to discern for yourself your truth and to discern what is in alignment for you, to discern what is safe for you. Bringing in the alignment, giving away your power and activating your power. Calling this in now, divine love and light. Resolving oath vows, contracts, and agreements we've made to give our power away for any reason. Unworthiness beliefs that are causing us to give our power away. Guilt and resentment related to all of this. Bringing in and activating our true power and the ability to be safe in our power, to own our power, and to use it in the highest and best way. It's also bringing in the root chakra alignment. Bringing this in. Clearing the fear and trauma held in the root chakra. We hold experiences in our root chakra from the time we were conceived all the way through about age 5. We also hold a lot of ancestral trauma in our root chakra. Bringing in the knowledge and understanding of deep safety, as well as the energies of trust, feeling connected, feeling at home, feeling grounded, nourished, healthy, and prosperous. Bringing in the sacral chakra alignment. Clearing guilt and shame, traumas of abuse, including emotional, physical, mental, and sexual abuse, as well as inherited traumas in our sacral chakra. Bringing in the energies of creativity, movement, and transformation, allowing you to experience change, flow, safety, and to feel and experience your emotions, desires, and pleasure. Good. I'm bringing in I have a couple more here, and then actually I have like 5 more, and then I want to check in and see how everybody's doing. So bringing in the alignment, forgiveness. So calling this energy in now, whether you are desiring to forgive yourself or someone else. This alignment is clearing the anger, resentment, regret, guilt, and shame that may be blocking us from the freeing divine energy of forgiveness, allowing you to truly forgive and be forgiven on a deep spiritual level. Good. I'm going to bring in now the inner child merging alignment. We all have an inner child that is looking for what we did not receive as children. This could be nurturing, attention, unconditional love, encouragement, healthy boundaries. We will never be able to truly enjoy and celebrate our life and accept who we are on a deep level when we don't acknowledge the needs of our inner child and give him or her the love and healing that they desire and deserve. This alignment is literally going back in time in your childhood when you did not receive the love, care, attention, and nurturing that you needed, and it will give you all of this and more. So you may be envisioning yourself as a child, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 years old. This alignment is allowing your inner child to feel safe to come back in to who you are now. Good. Creating a beautiful merge with your adult self, allowing you to feel more wholeness, joy, and self-love and empowerment. So you can just ask to feel or see this inner child. You may want to give them a hug or hold them, witnessing them receiving whatever it is that you did not receive that you needed when you were a child. Allowing that aspect of you to come back in and merge with you now. Good. I'm going to bring in the alignment, expanding self-love and self-worth. This is expanding your capacity to feel and create more self-love and self-worth as it clears the limited and low vibrational belief systems and programs as mental thought forms and crystallized thought forms that might be holding you back from loving and protecting yourself with healthy emotional boundaries, bringing in the true definition of healthy emotional boundaries from your divine aspects perspective, energetically strengthening your personal boundaries, which will expand your ability to hold yourself in a more loving space, bringing in the energy and permission to put yourself and your own needs first. Okay, I have 2 more alignments and then we're going to finish up. I'm going to check in with everybody. So if you've been feeling really emotional, these alignments are hopefully bringing in the energy of really soothing that, because these are the ones that, so we went through the storm of clearing a bunch of stuff, and now you might feel the vortex beginning to spin clockwise and really positive energy coming in. So bringing in the energy of love yourself fully. Good. This is really coming in, sweeping out those beliefs around unworthiness and self-rejection and bringing in the beautiful unconditional love from Source. Good. And I'm going to bring in now the rose alignment. We're calling this in now. The delicate rose symbolizes beauty and tenderness. It is the flower of love, purity, and sweetness. Roses are extremely high vibrational, and rose essential oil vibrates at 320 hertz, which is the second highest energy vibration of all known essential oils. This alignment will immerse you in the beautiful high vibrational energies of the rose. It will gently lift your spirits and bring you comfort and helps relieve depression, anger, fear, nervous tension, and stress. So just allowing yourself to be wrapped and enveloped in this energy of the rose. And yes, this replay will be available in this group and on YouTube. Good, 4 years old. Okay, so I see you all. I see your comments. How's everybody feeling right now? Rose is one of your favorite ones that you have. Can I recommend a couple of others? So some of the other real high vibrational ones are some of the crystal alignments. I have a couple different crystal series. I have an Andara crystal series and just another regular series of crystal alignments. I have crystalline energy. Another one that's coming to mind right now is Gaia. I'm going to go ahead and bring that in. Gaia helps us really feel safe on this planet, ground into this planet. Feeling good but tired, need to rest. Yes, please allow yourself to rest. You may sleep really well tonight. You may have vivid dreams. Make sure you're drinking a lot of water. My heart feels softer. The pounding and hardness have left. Feeling good. My throat is tight, cold and tired, calmer and tired. Cold, cold is what happens when we clear a lot and there's that energy of expansion that's happening. Angry. So Alyssa, I would recommend, if you have time, to, I don't know if you were here in the beginning, but to take a sheet of paper and write out everything that you're feeling angry about, and then burn that paper. So I'm going to run the anger and resentment release alignment for you specifically for whatever is going on that's making you feel angry. Lisa, your throat is tight. So I don't know if I ran it, but I'm going to run the alignment claiming your voice. So anywhere that your voice has been silenced, and clearing the words, the emotions, the feelings, the anger that is trapped in your throat. Divine limit light, creator change it. Mom's rejection from my conception till her death in my 30s. So let's bring in a energetic disconnect between you and your mom to heal those hooks and cords there. I'm going to actually bring in something called a sacred light relationship healing attunement, which is from my advanced class that I teach with my best friend. So if you have a relationship you'd like healing around, you can accept this for yourself. Just have that person in mind, one person in mind. So calling in a sacred light relationship healing attunement now in divine love and light. Thank you. I feel lighter, a big release. I heard the vibration of the rose. I love it. Feeling weighted down in my calves. So what are you afraid of walking forward into, Leslie? Is there something about the future that you're afraid of? Tingly right cheek. Interesting. Susan, very sad. Where are you, Susan? And anybody else that might still be feeling lower energies. So just drop down into your body. Allow yourself to dial up that emotion and just notice where you're feeling it in your body. So Susan, where are you feeling that sadness? Lindsay, back of the head tingly. Sandy, I'm feeling very calm, relaxed, whole, good, and a bit hungry. Yes, so if you're feeling hungry, your body's wanting to ground. So we're going to ground everything in here in just a minute. All right, thank you for joining us, Anna. Some cramping in my solar plexus or sacral. Feels like some fear, Shelly. So just allowing that fear to unwind. I'll bring in the fear alignment again here. Feeling super emotional. A lot of anger came to light that I've been suppressing. So I'm gonna run that. I'm gonna run a sacred light purification attunement here. This will help release if you've taken on anybody's emotions from these comments, which in the beginning I did some stuff that will really help that not happen, but there's many empaths here. So bringing in the sacred light purification attunement here in divine love and light. Good. I feel my right and left body merge. Awesome, Sherry. My lymph system is on fleek. So I'm going to run an activation I have called the flush activation. So bringing this in now for everyone in divine love and light. Feeling tired, relaxed, ache around eyes, feeling lighter. If you're cold, that's actually a really good sign because that means you've created a lot of space. Fear replaced with hopefulness. I love it. Calm and re-energized, peaceful. I feel neutral. That's good. Back of my heart is still achy, but feeling much lighter, much better. You're welcome. Headache. Headache is common. Make sure you're drinking a lot of water. Vibrating in chest, pain in my right shoulder and neck. So let's clear anger. Anger at men. The stomach ache and heartburn I had at the beginning disappeared. Beautiful, Stacy. Releasing through tears. Good, Alyssa. Okay, Susan, you're feeling it in your heart. So just asking for the grief. Feels like there's a specific relationship that needs healing, or a specific loss. So I'm going to call in a sacred light relationship healing attunement again for you, Lisa. So if that triggers a person, have them in mind. Divine love and light, creator, change it. Also calling in that golden white cocoon, asking Archangel Azrael and Archangel Zara to wrap your heart in this beautiful cocoon. Releasing the last vestiges of guilt, sadness, anger, loss. Awesome. Okay, my bladder's hurting. So that is usually related to anger and irritation, especially with romantic partners. Is there somebody that you're feeling angry or irritated with, Crystal? I flushed with burning energy and high vibrations, releasing through crying. I'm going to bring in the bacteria alignment here. Divine love and light, thank you. Oh, wow, Lisa, if you threw up, you're releasing huge. So that does happen. It's not super common, but it definitely happens. And it is usually from a very huge release. So that's incredible, even though it's uncomfortable. It's amazing when that happens. I keep spacing out and falling asleep. That's totally normal. It means you're most of the time it means your conscious mind is sliding out of the way for the healing to go deeper. It could mean that there's something that you don't want to look at or see, because we're talking about trauma here. Feeling it in my shoulder blades. How is that feeling now? So bringing in the tension release, bringing in the anger and resentment release. Family relationships going, letting go of my sisters. My heart is now open. Still afraid of being troublesome to those I hold dear. Thank you, Jade. Feeling nauseous. That's very, very, very normal. Very normal. So I'm going to bring in the solar plexus alignment here in divine love and light. Thank you. Good. Okay. So is anybody still feeling like you're stuck in something? Is anybody still having a really hard time? Some of this stuff is going to still be unwinding, but is there anybody who feels like you're some needing some help getting out of, like, are you feeling really, really anxious or really, really heartbroken or angry right now? Just want to make sure everybody's good before we hop off. And if you're watching the replay and you're feeling like you need some help with something, there's many healers in this group. You can post in the group. If you feel like you need a private session, you can post in the group and ask for a sacred soul alignment practitioner. I've got over 200 practitioners, and there's many people in this group, Sacred Soul Alignment with Alicia Hartzell, that can help you. Just make a post if you feel like you need extra support, and ask for a Sacred Soul Alignment practitioner. And they have all of these tools that they can help you with. So yeah, severe family issues. So when we're going through something, we oftentimes we're not going to be able to fully clear that trigger when we're in the middle of something. So Susan, I'm sending you so much love, and you have so much support around you. Listening to this again a couple of times will be really supportive for those of you who are still feeling something. And I just want to mention that, if you want these tools for yourself, you can join my certification class that starts next Tuesday. I have a lot of different payment plans. And if you want to know more about it, I'm actually, if you're listening to this live, I'm hosting a roundtable Q&A discussion on Thursday, where you can come and hear from some of the practitioners and get all of your questions answered. I'm going to guide you through a process to really feel these tools and this modality in your body for yourself, so you can help discern whether it's right for you. So if you have any questions about this class, that is a really good opportunity. You can look in this group for the link to sign up for that. Or you can message me privately if you can't find it. So I just want to thank you guys for being here, for doing this really, really important work for yourself, which is helping all of humanity. It's allowing us to anchor more light onto this planet. It's helping us create heaven on earth more quickly. So thank you. And so much love to all of you. Whether you're here watching me live, whether you're on Facebook, whether on YouTube, or have discovered this recording someplace else. Thank you for showing up for yourself and for the planet and for your family. Much love to all of you, and bye for now.